SacAnime 2018. No, it's not that show.
Is it? What's happening now?
What is this panel about?
I got nothing.
We should maybe introduce ourselves. I mean, they
RWBY.
probably know who we are, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't hurt.
I'm Gavin Free. Nice to see you. Oh, I'm Gavin Free. I'm Michael Jones. I play Sun in RWBY and also Max in Camp Camp, but that's not this panel.
Hey, I'm Shannon McCormack. I play Professor Ozpin in RWBY, and then a bunch of other voices for Rooster Teeth as well, but it's also not that panel.
My name is Jen Brown, and I played Pyrrha Nikos on RWBY, as well as Lisa Lavender, my personal favorite, and then a bunch of other stuff that we're not talking about.
When is that panel? I want to go.
Yeah, I don't
This
know.
panel could become that panel.
It probably will eventually.
Eventually.
So I'm Jason Douglas, and I don't know why I'm on this panel because the character that I play in RWBY is the most hated man in all of anime. But if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help as best I can. Oh, Jacques is his name, by the way. But I'm sure you already knew that.
He's not a great guy.
No.
Not the best, no.
No, he's a lousy father, but he's a damn fine businessman, so that redeems it, right? 100%.
All right, that's it.
Okay, thanks for
Thanks for
coming.
coming.
Yeah, you guys are
guys are great.
fantastic.
That was real fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
So you can cut out of here early, wherever. Don't tell your parents. They dropped you off here.
we will sign your permission slip, and you will get full credit for attending this seminar.
So I guess if anybody has any questions, it is a Q&A.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't, boy, you're going to be in for a long 45 minutes as
It's
we can
called
ask each other
improv.
questions. Yeah.
Oh,
We'll make
is it that
something
panel
up.
now?
we could do
Are
an
we doing
improv
a
panel.
Project
We can do that.
Improviser on the fly?
Hi everyone, my name is Dutch, and my question is just for a general in-panel. I know that Pyrrha's appearance is, Greco-Roman influence, and watching the show and rewatching a few of the episodes just out of random, I don't really see a lot of Greco-Roman influence in like the architecture or the societies or any stuff. Was it the choice to make just pure Pyrrha just pure Greco-Roman influence just for her, or is there something similar, like a region of Remnant that has more Greco-Roman influences, or just looks something like that?
That's interesting. I have no idea. But what I will say is that I think that would be super neat. That if we actually ever got to see, I'm still real hurt that my parents have never come into the picture. It's like, don't you think my parents would be really upset that I'm not around anymore?
Yeah.
Maybe we'd meet them.
Maybe they
like a
maybe they haven't
funeral?
maybe
Like
they
a
haven't heard.
funeral? Come on, funeral, right? Anyway, I'm just saying, I'm being silly. But if we do ever get to see where Pyrrha is from, I think that would be really interesting angle to go, is doing that sort of Greco-Roman, having that repeat. But as far as specifically with her, it's kind of the same thing they did with everyone. They picked an influence that they wanted, and they kind of went with that. And it's not that they were like, oh, let's try to do Greco specifically. It's just like, oh, we like Achilles. Let's do a female Achilles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How about anybody else? Are you guys doing anything later?
Room party.
Hello.
Hello. So this is a general question to the entire panel. Considering the show's longevity as at this point, and when it eventually does die down, what is the likelihood of there being a reboot in 2D animation?
Oh.
That's down the line. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 20 years down the line.
20 years down the line, here's the thing. Sun's going to be the main character. All of RWBY, tragically, they're dead.
No, I meant like a reboot.
No, yeah, this is the reboot. They all get killed in the opening scene.
Exactly. I'm digging this.
Yeah, there's an opening
It's a
scene,
real dark
and they're all
reboot.
killed in a train crash. It's terrible. But Sun's there, and he's like, I guess I'll have to pick up the pieces. And
And
Oh
you know,
no,
in
no!
all,
You know what
in-
happens, and then it turns into a horror movie, and then
Yeah.
you try to recreate all of them with their dead bodies, and it
Yeah,
becomes
it was
a
a- it
really
was a-
sad introspective show about this man
Oh right, it's called
dealing with loss.
it's called Frank and Ruby, and
yeah, it was a
Fallen Sun.
It was a
Frank and
Schnee
Ruby,
family
Fallen
train.
Sun, that's good.
So the four of us, we're actually the four main characters of the
Yep,
show.
Yeah.
that's
This will blow your mind right now.
Yeah.
I'm pitching it. We'll see where it goes.
and in all true reboot fashion, it will feature Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Sure.
Yeah, you just gotta like Sun's just driving around listening to Beastie Boys in the world where the Beastie Boys somehow still also exist. So that's our very glib answer.
This is, you get a bunch of actors that don't write the show or have any input in the show at all. I mostly just read the lines on the paper. Sometimes I add a lot of my own, and they don't put that in the show. So
Bloopers.
that could be the whole other show.
Yeah. Oh, there's some
They're
outtakes.
sitting on the footage already.
Yeah,
Yeah, clearly.
it's blackmail footage.
So that answered your question perfectly, right?
Yeah, I think that'll do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here you go. One person liked it.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm a former scenery of RWBY. How was it like doing the scenes where Team RWBY and Team Juniper was going all out on doing the food fight scene?
Oh my God. I remember when they first showed us that they were going to be doing the food fight. And I was like, this is the coolest, most hilarious thing I've ever seen. I love it so much. I just thought it was really cute. It was incredibly cute. It was really fun. It was great to do. I love the whole fake out they did with Ruby and Weiss, where they cut out the first time they showed the image of that scene. They cut out all the food stuff in the background, so it's just Ruby holding Weiss, screaming "Why!" And I loved seeing all the fans being like, "What's happening? It's too soon! It's too soon!" I found that really enjoyable. Personally, I thought that was hilarious.
Well, you got to be in it, so good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you're still on the show.
Well, that's true.
How's that? Are you having fun with that?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hostility between us up
Yeah.
here.
I'm glad I'm sitting between you guys because I also am both dead and still in the show. So it's a fun kind of between state that I'm in.
Hey, I'm alive and not on the show, so I don't even know what to say about that.
We need a little touch of an asshole. Let's open the door. Oh, hey, okay, close it back up.
This episode needs a credible antagonist. Jacques will serve the purpose.
Hello.
Hello.
So
Hello.
this question's for Shannon and Jen. So you mentioned we're not talking about red versus blue, but I want to talk about red versus blue.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Please, God, any question, just ask at this point.
Yeah.
what was your mindset when you were recording that one episode with the where Carolina told Wash everything and about
Oh, in the latest season?
in the latest season.
So what was my mindset?
Yeah, what were your guys' mindsets what was running through your mind?
So in my case, we didn't record that together. We did actually in the previous season we did a session together where we were both in the same booth. It was they wanted the experiment of it, or I don't know what they were going for. But this season those lines were recorded separately. For me it was pretty easy. It's just imagine every time somebody has lied to you about something, and I think everybody has experience with that, and the sort of indignation that comes with realizing that people have been lying to you or pulling one over your eyes. So, and I'm kind of an angry person anyway, so I could
Angry white boy.
yeah, exactly. No, I'm not. I'm really not that much. But it's easy to get. It's indignation is a mode that I'm familiar with, so that was pretty easy. I don't know. Jen's not a liar though, so I don't know what
You think?
I'm not a liar, but I am a professional actor, so I kind of am a liar. I'm kind of the best liar there is. No, it's so funny. I've gotten so used to doing Carolina that I forget specific moments of how I felt when I was performing it just because I'm so used to doing her. Like, she's just in me at this point. She just comes out when I need her. She's right there. And I've had to hide something from someone in the past that I thought it was, a good idea. So I had something, experience that I could remember what that was like. I identified. I got it. I understood what she was doing and that it wasn't coming from a dark place, that it was coming from a place of love and a place of protection.
Yeah, I think the writing in that stuff is really good because, I mean, it's like any sophisticated show, you see characters make mistakes, but for all the wrong intention, or for the right intentions,
reasons, but
the outcome makes things worse, and that makes for good drama, where you're like, oh, I totally understand why that character is making that choice. It is a bad choice, or it's going to make things worse for everybody down the line.
Yes.
And that's good writing, I think. That's
very good writing. But it's also very human writing. The way she handled that situation, I get it. I completely get it. Was it right? No, but I get why. I do. And it made for, like you said, really nice TV.
I just wanted to let you know, I showed my dad that specific scene, and he had never watched Red vs. Blue before that, and he said that was probably one of the best voice acting jobs that he had ever heard in his life. So I just really wanted to...
Is your dad also a casting director, perhaps?
Unless you want to work at a mechanical engineering firm, then no.
All right. I'll think about that one.
Thank you.
Tell your dad thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Good job, Shannon.
Yeah, all right, we did it.
Hi, my name's Cole, and
Hi,
my
Cole.
question is for Michael Rage Quick Jones.
That's me.
It's the most recent season of RWBY. Did you think it was maybe a little, let's just say, strange that Sun Wukong chased Blake Belladonna to basically the ends of Remnant for whatever reason he did that?
He's looking out for her. Just like maybe if she called the guy back. It's no, I don't think so. I think Sun, while especially earlier, maybe in the earlier seasons, it was maybe a bit more. He was interested in Blake, and he wanted to like help Blake, even against her wishes. I feel like he's kind of I don't know if you guys know, he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's definitely grown a bit over the course of the seasons, and especially coming up with the new volume coming out this season. I think that really starts to show where he's kind of taking his head out of his ass a little bit, and he's realized hey, I'm here to help. And Blake is a little more open to the fact that she does actually need some assistance. She doesn't have to do every single thing, by herself. Everything isn't on her shoulders to take care of every single problem. And I just think he's a really cool guy.
Yeah. It seems like a maturity growth pattern that yourself is personally involved with, huh?
Yeah, no, I haven't grown at all. I feel like I'm actually devolving personally, and I'm kind of worried about my children's future for that reason. But, you got Lindsay. She's not that much better, man. They're going to be eating candy their whole life or something. But yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yeah. Let's hear it for Candy.
All right. So for everyone, if your characters could be in any musical, which one and why?
Oh, that's a fun question.
I'd like to be in the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Dayman musical.
Yes!
I think Sun would do well coming down from the rafters on his tail. That'd be my answer. I also don't know that many musicals.
I have a go-to one for other ones, but I think for Ozpin, I think he would probably end up being the shopkeeper character in West Side Story, who tries to keep the Jets and the Sharks from fighting, and he doesn't sing at all, but he's like a voice of reason that no one pays attention to, and then he dies, and then he inhabits Tony's body. then Tony gets killed, and then it's like, now what do you do? I don't know. So I'm gonna say West Side Story.
All right.
I don't know. You say yours.
I was just thinking that.
Because I can't stop thinking about Dayman now. Like, that's all I can think about.
That's all I got.
Now I'm just seeing Pyrrha as Sweet D, like, tiny boy, little boy.
Jason, I don't know if you have one, but I got one for you.
I wonder if it's
Same one? I think you would be like Daddy Warbucks.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say he's gonna be Daddy Warbucks in a much darker, more sinister version of Annie. And
The sun won't come out.
when I decide.
Okay, I know it. And this is not a funny. This is like genuinely sad. And a lot of people might not know this musical, but there's a musical called Last 5 Years. That's one of my absolute favorites. And doing Pyrrha and Jean Last 5 Years would be the most heartbreaking, brilliant thing ever. Basically, Last 5 Years, if you don't know about it, it's about a couple, and it takes place at the beginning and end of their relationship. The woman starts at the end, the man starts at the beginning, and then the musical works towards their wedding. It's about them separating. It's absolutely brilliant, and that would be, oh my God. Now I'm thinking about that, and that would be one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Why do you just want to hurt them? Why is that? Why is that?
I don't know. I like dark things. I can't help it. Horror is like, if you don't know this, like personally, like horror movies are my life. So I have a podcast all about horror films. That's like my thing personally. So I tend to, when people ask like what I would like, I always tend to skew dark. So like I would like to see Pyrrha as a Grimm. I think that would be so cool. I think that'd be cool.
And then you could kill us.
Yeah.
Great.
I think that would be fun. What? I'm the only one? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. No man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's good at charades? One of you guys?
So I was wondering, when you guys read your scripts, do you ever get surprised as we are, like finding out when Pyrrha dies or something like that? When you go through and read scripts and you find scenes that you probably, I don't know if you were told or not, do you ever get that moment or?
For Pyrrha, personally, I knew the absolute minute I was cast because it was the first thing they told me. Here's a character we want you to play. Guess what? She dies. I'm not kidding. That is exactly what happened. It was from the get-go. But what I tell people is you should be really, really happy because I was supposed to die in season 2. And they decided to extend the storyline to make it hurt more because they're all evil. But to also give my character a chance to be around a little bit longer. So yeah, that actually the original plan was to have me go at the end of season 2, and then they decided to delay that. So I already knew about that, but I will say, if you watch the commentary on season 3, you can hear my genuine reaction because apparently I didn't read the part of the script where Yang loses her arm because we were watching and I was very shocked. I was very shocked, legitimately didn't know what was happening, and I was like, wait, what? Did you just lose your arm? It was, yeah. No, that legitimately shocked me because I thought I read the script, but apparently not well enough. I missed that.
I'm usually pretty surprised. I know with RWBY and to an extent Camp kind of the basis of where it's going, but not really any finer details. I'll say it happens more so with Camp just because there's so much dialogue that I don't know about, even if I know this is what happens in the story. I find myself just laughing my ass off every time I go to record Camp because I'll get to the line. I'm like, you want me to say that? How do you get away with this? I don't understand it. I'm awful. You can see that in any video, but I don't write Camp. That's
That's where you draw the line.
right. It's like, you watch Achievement Hunter and you're like, look at these awful people in this room together. And that's true. And we all just feed off of it. But you don't think of when you see Max and they go, oh, that's Michael. He's terrible. You don't think that this was Jordan and Miles spending their weekend in a writing room all right, so then he says, Like, you piece of shit. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And it's like the elaborate just deceit that they come up with. It really comes from a dark place, I imagine. So that stuff does the intent and the, again, everything I do it just comes out. I never sit around and go, okay, and then in the next Minecraft I'm going to insult Gavin. It just happens, it's just in the moment. I find something a bit more devious than like the planned awfulness. So Camp gets me a lot with that stuff.
Shannon, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
Camp surprises me too, but that's intentional because I like Camp so much I only read my lines. When I go to record, I refuse to read the whole script because I like to watch the show and I like to be surprised. So I only read what I absolutely have to.
Sometimes not even that.
Yeah.
If you see episodes where Aaron's not speaking, it's because Jen didn't want to read the line. Yeah.
She actually is she's one of the lead 4 characters, and she's just really pissed off a lot.
I just refuse to record
Just
half
don't
of
ever
my
record
lines. Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything to offer on RWBY in this regard, but I've played a number of characters who have suffered quick and brutal deaths in shows. And for me, it's more about, is it a meaningful and interesting death? And if it is and it's well written and it's well supported, then it's a lot of fun to do. Mm-hmm. It's often fun to play. And I'm thinking just off the top of my head of Misha's death in the recent first episode of season 2 of Attack on Titan. Mm-hmm. And that episode was kind of all about him, going through that, and then that just very brutal death where he gets literally like ripped apart limb by limb at the end. And it was all there for the audience to see. So I thought it was well done. So I was disappointed when it was over. But
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
Hi. This one's just for the entire panel, but has there ever been a line that you've read in any show that you've ever voice acted that stuck with you? One that's just fun to say that you think of?
Sorry. I say that a lot.
Me too.
A lot. Obviously.
I'm trying to think if there's something better than "Fuck you, David." And I'm just, it's probably in there.
Well,
it's probably in there, but I don't. It's just buried so deep.
I mean, well, if we're being honest, the one that I like saying the most, I mean, Arid has had the best lines, period, that I've ever gotten to say. I mean, are we doing a piece? Are we cussing? Can I say? Like, it's a quote from the show.
I am. I don't know if I shouldn't be.
Okay.
Nobody
didn't
has
tell
said
me
anything. Nobody's like waving.
They're supposed to tell me, and obviously they didn't. So, oops.
Well, it's a quote from the show, but getting to like
mine
actually
too.
record "Peace for Life" is
because of the platypus.
exactly. It's a
That's
platypus.
why.
It's a platypus. It's a platypus. But getting to actually have a real reason to get paid money to say that on tape. Perfect.
I can't top that.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. I did have a character that is very close to my heart in a show called Wandaba Style from a little while ago, and John Swayze directed it, and I played a character named Michael Hanagata, and it seemed like everything that tumbled out of his mouth was golden, but he was like the sleazy manager of an all-girls Japanese pop band, and he was always trying to send them to the moon. That was like his big thing. So, and literally that he was trying to promote the band by having them perform a show on the moon. It was that ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
And so yeah,
That's
I always think back to that guy. So,
That's really
thanks.
fun.
So for me, it's probably just because I do improv. I mean, like improv comedy is my thing. So I think my favorite is, and it helps that it kind of became like a signature line for Agent Washington, which is that was the worst throw ever of all time. But it wasn't written that way. The whole the timing of it and the of all time bit at the end was an ad lib because they were like, Bernie wrote it and he was like, can we just like, it needs to be awkward, and we recorded it as written, and he was like, just play around with it a little bit, and so it was like that cadence the just weird awkwardness of it. I like that kind of like strange, goofy cadence kind of a thing, and that was the take that they went with, and then I like that one a lot.
I just have to say, Jen, I loved when you said "bow chicka wow wow" to Tucker. That was one of my favorite moments.
Okay, can I tell you? I will take great pride in this. That was my idea. I told Miles, I said, Carolina needs to start lightening up. She's been with these people for a while. He's like, yeah, I agree. I'm like, what if she tells a joke? But she has to do Tucker's joke, and it has to fail. It has to fail. That would be funny. And he did it. And it made me really happy. When I went in the booth, I was like, you did my idea! And then Camp, they've done a line of mine too. Camp. If I remember correctly, the everyone born in the 90s is an old asshole. That was me. And they've used that twice. And that was, I ad-libbed that in the booth. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much, because that was one of the few times I actually contributed to the show.
Thank you so much. Have a great con.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Ooh, cool hair.
Thanks. My name's Reed, and my question's for Michael. So, out of the lads and gents, who would you make a Team RWBY with? With you, obviously.
Oh, God.
To fight Grimm.
Okay, Jacques, he'd be a healer. He would hide in the back, but he would buff everybody. That'd be pretty good. Ryan, I'd be afraid he would kill us, though. But at the same time, if I didn't put him in the party, then God knows where he'll end up. I feel like he would somehow be like a merchant of death, and he would work for both the hunters and huntresses and the Grimm, and just selling them like equivalent technologies so that neither of them could ever win. I feel like he'd be pretty good at that. But I guess I'd take him just so I could keep an eye on him. And then probably just Gavin to like slap around. I don't think he'd be that useful, but
You always need a meat
it'd be entertaining.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, for each of you, are you more of an indoors or outdoors type of person?
Ooh.
That is a great question.
That is a great question. I don't know if I've ever thought about it specifically in that way.
I am an indoor person with an outdoor voice. I like to read, so I'm more on the indoor type. Even though I like going outdoors, but I'm more of an indoor person.
I'm definitely more indoor. Just my interests more aligned to like video games, movies, stuff like that. It does work out for Achievement Hunter. But more so, like, especially since moving to Austin, I really enjoyed like the outdoors because there's actually things to go do and look at, unlike New Jersey. I've been doing a lot more outdoor stuff since having a kid because they like to go see the world and like breathe air and not just be stuck in a bubble forever. So I've been getting more into that stuff, going outside. I like doing like activity-based stuff, you know, like swimming and you know, stuff like that. I've been going more, Lindsay and I, like to parks and stuff, just kind of like actually like, oh, look at that. That's the sun up there. Look at that. That's pretty nice. But I would say like if I had to pick one or the other, I would pick indoor and Lindsay would pick outdoor, and we'd never see each other ever again. So we try to ride that line and break even. Like, okay, we'll go out, but to the movies so I can go inside.
I grew up as an outdoor person. My dad was the kind of dad that was like, let's go fishing and camping like every weekends. Like we were constantly out and doing stuff. So I grew up as an outdoor kind of person, and I really like it. But I grew into an indoor human being as I grew up, and I started making my own choices. Even though I loved doing all those outdoor activities with my father when I was younger, for some reason when I got older, I was just kind of like, I did that. But then it's coming back. It's coming back. I've started, same with you, like same kind of like you and Lindsay, like Barrett and I have been like, okay, let's go out and see the sun and hike up a trail and go down by the Rotter. So now I'd say now I'm more like, I'm going back to even. I'm trying to get back to that even place where it's a little balanced.
Right.
But I'm a big movie nerd, so yeah, I spend a lot of time indoors watching. I have a podcast where all I do is talk about movies. I mean,
That's the thing, and you probably do the podcast indoors, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, most of what we do is indoors
Yeah.
for work. So I crave being outside, but guess what, brother? I'm a light-skinned redhead. I got to be careful, or I will shrivel up and die at the age of 50. And I have that runs in my family, so a lot of sunscreen, but it's good. The sunlight is good for you. Vitamin D. I need the fresh air, right? Because like, how long can you stand sitting in front of a computer screen? Yeah. And we're doing editing, or we're doing recording at home, or we go to a booth, and guess what? We're in a tiny little box, a dark box, for 2 to 4 to sometimes 5 hours, and that gets old. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I like being outside. So,
thank you.
Thank
Thank you. That was a good question. You know,
was
I'd
nice.
probably enjoy being outdoors a lot more often if I wasn't in Austin.
Yeah.
Because it's like 110 degrees
It's
every
like walking
day.
into an oven.
well, that's
Hey,
that's
how are
the
you?
that's the thing about Austin is it's a great city for being outdoors when the weather's right.
Right.
So-
Only when the weather's
so
right.
like 3 weeks out of the year.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Hey.
Well, now I have a random throwaway question. Should I go back to Austin? I haven't been there since I was 6 months old.
Well, you should go back to
Oh yeah,
Austin.
it's really cool actually.
Oh, yeah.
It's just really hot. Don't go in the summer, you will die. Don't do it.
Okay. All right.
And summer lasts from March to November.
Yes.
It's a long summer.
It's a very long
Okay.
summer.
Love it. Okay, time for the actual question. I'm kind of blanking on if somebody asked this or not because I've been like phasing in and out of reality. I have not.
Me
sucked it
too. I get it.
up. Okay. If you could make like a RWBY character based on yourself, like as a person, not like as an actor, like as a person, if you could make one based on yourself, what would they be like? Like
Well,
what
it'd be
kinda-
like Max was 10 years older. That would be my RWBY character.
Oh, trying to think. Oh man, that's hard.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
How
It's fine.
dare
It just,
you.
It requires me to actually use my brain. I don't know. Anybody else have an answer?
I don't have
I'm thinking of like an just sort of an old soldier type. You know, he's kind of his you know, he's battle weary and you know, he seems benevolent, but he's got a dark past.
Soldier 76.
Maybe.
You know what? I'd like to be a faunus, probably. I'd probably end up being a faunus. I'd probably end up being, or what I'd like to be, is a dragon faunus. I'm making that up.
That's really cool.
Because it sounds cool. I would want to be a dragon faunus, and I would be the kind of person where you look at them and you're like, oh, I don't know, they seem kind of standoffish because they're a dragon. And then you get to know them and you're like, oh, wow, that dragon's like the nicest dragon I've ever met. They're so sweet. All right, cool. We can be friends, dragon. That's what I would be. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess.
Man, I don't know, dude. Like, what would my character be like? It would be like, I would like,
This is your character. This is him.
right,
He's very indecisive.
right, super decisive.
He's the person when every fight starts. It's just like,
I don't know. No, it wouldn't be that. I think like no to get closer to capturing it, it's like if Gonzo from the Muppet Show were like a character. What? I don't know. Just like kind of like
I can see that. No
yeah,
offense.
just like, hey, you know, I keep chickens, you know, and I do tricks or whatever. So, but it's like completely irrelevant to the plot. It would be like this traveling theater troupe character who would just like show up every once in a while.
yes.
Driving a wagon in through when there's a battle. Oh, hey, everybody. You know, that would be, I don't know. It's like
You'd have the cart that they would smash through in the chase scene.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my watermelons. You know, whatever. So really, I would be a completely irrelevant character to the...
So you'd be like the king of the filler episodes.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
That would be your
exactly,
thing.
yeah.
We need those.
I love it. Best. All right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
So I have a general question. If your RWBY character had a theme song that wasn't a RWBY soundtrack, what would it be?
Mine would be Walking on Sunshine.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, that's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
That's a total slam dunk.
Oh, it don't feel good.
I mean, I could go with the really, really obvious answer and say "Shot Through the Heart."
Oh my God. Oh no. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Pyrrha does other things besides
Fucking-
die.
I've never.
I know, but like, no, come on. That seems like the only thing everyone ever talks about. Or the fact that they wish I wasn't dead, which is great. I wish I wasn't either.
I hate your life in RWBY Chibi.
I know. It's great. It's not the same, though. At least that's what people tell me. I've just gotten so used to saying that because I say, we've got Chibi, and then the answer is always, it's not the same. And I'm like, okay. All right, then. Sorry.
So Ozpin would be sort of it would have to be sort of a classic era Bowie tune. I mean, just look at him. So I think given his personality and the nature of the show, I think I would have to go with Heroes by David Bowie. Hey, all right, there we got one approving. So that's what I'm going with.
My wheels are turning, man. You got any ideas? What do you think about what would Jacques' walkout song be, man? If he
The
were
Imperial Death March.
Well,
wow,
I thought of that, but I thought that was a little on the nose. So I was trying to think of something. Cold as ice.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah,
That's very good.
Or the
Cold as Ice is, Cold as
Yeah,
Ice is
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
We're talking like the old '80s song, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Cold as
Yeah.
ice.
Who was that? Billy Squire. Who was that?
Sacrifice
Sticks.
Sticks.
Of course.
Your
Yes.
love.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sticks. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Mr. Roboto.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the thing. If you ever not sure what the answer is that somebody gives you, you're a little nervous, you're not sure what to say, you just go for the audience assist.
Oh,
They get to participate.
That's a good call.
It saves your.
Hit the button. It was a great offer.
It's great.
So my question is about the YouTube channel. When it hits 10 million subscribers, will you guys do a meme song parody featuring all the RWBY characters? Like, for example, Take On Me or Never Gonna Give You Up. Or
probably not. I mean, it's just ballparking here. I would do it. I don't know what they have planned, but I don't think that's on the schedule.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, I probably not.
I hope we do something.
They'll probably have like a pizza party at the office or something.
They could
you
have
know?
it. Okay,
Yeah.
we could
little
film
pizza
the pizza
That would
party.
be
That's
cool.
not really the same thing, but
Right. No.
it's something.
What we
something.
should we should commission Lil Yachty to
Or Lil Pump.
no, it's got to be Lil Yachty because like, did you see the thing that Lil Yachty did on Conan O'Brien where he did the rap about like he did like 50 Simpsons characters in like a minute and a half, and it's great, and it's like this fun little thing, and he just like name checks all the Simpsons characters. So we get Lil Yachty to do it, and he just like goes through the names of characters from RWBY. Sure, why not?
We should get that rolling now.
Yeah,
If we're
probably.
gonna do that.
We got to talk to Yachty.
We're real close.
Okay,
well,
we're
Lil
tight. We're
Yachty,
tight.
so
Yeah,
it's
Lil
gotta
Yachty,
be-
not Big Yachty.
You know, we don't give him a couple of years. Yeah. Till he's just Yachty. Or right now.
Or Titanic.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Hi,
Hello,
my
hello.
name's Barbara, and first thing, Jen, Shannon, you guys make me cry all the time.
Yay! we go for that.
Yeah. And my question is, what's more fun to record, RWBY or RWBY Chibi?
RWBY Chibi.
I
Hands
thought
down,
so.
RWBY Chibi. I mean, it just is. It's well, I mean, okay. Personally, I think you all know why my answer is RWBY Chibi. Because I get to be alive and cute and adorable, and it's very fun. And the Red Huntress stuff was way too fun to do. It's just fun. It's sillier. It's twee. There's the fact that I didn't die.
Really hammering this home.
See, that's
one of my
never
favorites.
She's got a real chip on her shoulder.
Just a little bit. No, actually, it's funny. I make a lot of jokes, but it is really interesting and unique to be able to have the chance to play a character that has an impactful death like that. I mean, it really is. It's wholly unique and really amazing and special. And I make jokes, but it really means a lot to me. And I know that it really affected people, and I get it. But it's also been a while, so it's fun to joke about. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I like Chibi. It's fun because I get to play around with Neptune.
Right.
Who's, I don't know what he's doing in RWBY. I don't know where that guy is. I never know what he's up to. He doesn't answer my phone calls.
Right.
I text him.
Right.
I got a whole team somewhere.
Right, but where are they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, if you've seen them, you let me know. Put up some missing flyers. I hope he didn't go out to sea. I told him not to go without me.
Hi.
Hi. So my question is a general question. Who is your favorite castmate and who is your favorite character in RWBY? Besides your character. It can't
Gotcha.
be your
So this is a slam dunk. So I love Nora. Nora's.
Oh, I was gonna say
Nora's
that.
my favorite, and I say this every time. No. It's Nora.
We think we can all. I think we can all say Nora if that's okay. I love.
She's up there.
I love Nora, and I think
Hands down.
and then. And Sam is just so awesome, so I'll just say Sam too, because I mean I love Jen. Jen's my bestie, but I'm gonna say Sam just because I love Nora, and I think that Sam doesn't maybe quite get the same accolades or shout outs from the community that I think is warranted or whatever, and she's fantastic.
Oh, Sam's the best.
Yeah.
Sam's the best. Oh yeah, no. Every time this question is asked of me, every single time, I'm always like Nora.
No, I like Zwei too.
Oh yeah.
He's cool. The acting is phenomenal.
So I've been watching Michael for like 6 years since you were posting
Hi.
Banjo-Kazooie on LTM Killa.
Thank you.
I was curious how it was like to go from that to Rage Quit to voice acting, because that's a pretty crazy transition for a career.
It's actually pretty straightforward when you think about it. You go from yelling in your parents' house in the bedroom to YouTube video to voice acting. And I think that's pretty much how most people got there.
It's the path I always recommend.
Yeah, that's every time people's like, how do I get into voice acting?
Start by yelling in your parents' room.
Go back to your parents' house, move back in, doesn't matter how old you are, move back in. You yell a lot, and then you tell them, I'm building a career. You just don't know it yet. Also, can I have pizza bagels? You get the mini ones. There's 9 of them in one package. 2 minutes and 20 seconds in the microwave. They're very good. Don't burn them though, because then they get too hard. I can't even answer the question. The only way is I stay in a constant state of just disbelief. I just accept what has happened and move on, because it's not anything I think I could process if I dwell on it. You know, there was no path of I'm going to do this and then get to this point. I just keep hitting these ridiculous milestones that I'm lucky enough to get to do, that I'm fortunate enough where, people saw my dumb YouTube videos and that got me an opportunity with Rooster Teeth, and then everything that Rooster Teeth has done since I've been there. Literally 2 days ago I was hunting ghosts. Yeah, that's true. I'm going back next week. I went from hunting ghosts to doing a voice at Funimation to coming to a convention where, there's a room full of people asking questions within 3 days. And it's amazing. It's an incredible experience. I certainly didn't predict it, and to reflect on how I feel about it. It's crazy. And I just wake up every day with that feeling, and I'm like, weird. Anyway, and then you just go to work. It's I feel like if I dwelled on it too much, that my brain would break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tegan, and my question is, what is your favorite thing about your RWBY characters, be aesthetic or personality?
Abs, first of all. Sun's got abs, and it's fun to play a nice guy. Different. Yeah.
In the case of Ozpin, I make this joke all the time that I don't think they set out to do this, but I end up always getting cast in Rooster Teeth shows as the bizarre, immortal, avatar of some sort of like unkillable oversoul kind of being. So it's pretty cool to never die. Unlike my good friend Jen's character.
Love killing me off. Oh gosh, there's a lot of things
Well,
to
here's
like.
to you then.
Nice. I don't know what my favorite part of. I just love her so much. I just do. I just love her.
If you love her, you have to let her go.
She's so sweet. I think we've been over that. Oh gosh, I don't know what my favorite part. Maybe you know what I like. What they wrote her. And they wrote this into the character, and it was always fun to play up. Because I just liked her humility. She just had this really like sweet humility to her that didn't feel put on, didn't feel insincere. It felt really genuine, and I liked that. I liked playing someone who was so sweet and princessy, but not in like a weird like put offish way, or standoffish way.
Line to Jean about being put on a pedestal.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing to record. That was like my favorite moment, hands down. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked her genuineness. She's just really genuine. I just like that aspect about her. Just very honest.
It's the mustache, isn't it?
This is awkward.
Yeah. Facial hair game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about Jacques is that he's incredibly shrewd and opportunistic, which would lead you to believe that he's also someone who is very intelligent. But those are amoral qualities, and they're not employed for necessarily good purposes or good motivations, which is just a way of saying that it doesn't matter how talented or intelligent you are, that doesn't necessarily make you like a decent person. And so I suppose my favorite qualities about Jacques are those same qualities that I would hope that I would use differently if I were intelligent, shrewd, and opportunistic. So, how's that?
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Forrest.
Hey, Forrest.
What's the most difficult line you've had to voice, whether it be in RWBY or otherwise, and for whatever reason that may be?
I had some, as I mentioned earlier, Sun's done some growing a bit, but nothing too crazy that I've had to do. I will say, especially this last season, probably of Camp season 3. Max, for like one rare moment not being just a little, was just honestly just kind of hard to get into as the character, because it's, 3 seasons of he's just awful, So him actually having like some, because he is kind of like, he's a little brat, he's a little crap, but you find out slowly as the show goes on, there are some reasons because of that. You find out with the Parents' Day episode that like, oh, he is kind of this way for a reason, how he was like kind of raised and neglected, and he definitely has that mindset of like, well, if people don't care about me, I'm just not going to care about anything, and that's basically his outer shell that he puts on. So it was actually pretty fun and interesting to finally kind of get past that a little bit in season 3 with a couple of episodes, and that took some time kind of to get into to do like a back and forth with Jordan as I was reading the lines, but that was a lot of fun to do as like an actor.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Okay, this kind of answers your question. So I can't think of an example for RWBY proper. But there was a short period of time where people were having me record different things as Pyrrha. And someone wanted me to do Pyrrha as Arnold Schwarzenegger. From
Kindergarten Cop.
No, from Running Man. Wanted me to do that final monologue from Running Man in Pyrrha's voice. That was so hard because I couldn't. She doesn't get angry. It was the hardest thing figuring out how to do that speech in Pyrrha's voice. It took me a while to figure that one out mentally, like, or with my mouth. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. But I ended up recording it, and he was really happy with it. But that was hard. That was legitimately the hardest
That's a really specific fetish.
super specific.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We've got 5 minutes left, according to the
cool
maybe
question
these
or
two
two.
questions. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
My name's Tyler. So out of all the work that you've done, what was your favorite character that you played or voiced?
Oh, I can answer this because I am very, very lucky that I got the chance to voice my literal dream role and the character that I wanted to play since I was a little girl. So I actually voiced Harley Quinn for DC Universe Online, and that personally was when that happened, when I got to replace officially Arlene when she retired, like the originator of that voice from the Batman animated series that I grew up on, which is like huge to me. Like that show inspired. That's why I do what I do. Part of the reason I do what I do is because of Arlene and because of Batman the animated series. And when I was working for DCUO, and they told me that I would be taking over for her, I had a heart attack laid out on the floor and couldn't believe it. So that's got to be my favorite because I actually was lucky enough to get to record one of my dream voices. Yeah, that's easy for me.
I like all the characters I get to do at Rooster Teeth. Mogar was really cool that I got to play him in X-Ray and Vav because it was something that I created. It was like a dumb throwaway comment in episode 7 or something of Minecraft, and then over the years slowly built into this even dumber character that like he's got a name, he's got a backstory. Like when people talk about like Mogar, they know what that is. You know, there's people cosplay him all the time. So to see that character come to life in a show where, again, like Achievement Hunter, we go in, you know, we're a bunch of assholes yelling about nonsense and this and that, and then we edit the video and it comes out. But like I made a team of animators make Mogar. Like people had to do storyboards for him, you know, people had to write his lines. He's also the only character in really like any of the voices I've done at Rooster Teeth where I'll go in and I'm shocked at what Max is going to say. The number of times I went, all right, whatever. But like Mogar would walk in and go, no, he wouldn't say that. He was not going to say that. And the like arguments I would get into Lindsay about his character because I'm like, you don't even understand him. You would not do that. And so like just the opportunity to be able to do that was really cool.
Yeah, Mogar was my favorite in X-Ray and Vav.
Thank you.
I don't know. I like aspects of all of the characters that I do. I would say right now I'm currently having the most fun doing the quartermaster from Camp. Just because so I just stay in character the whole time in the booth. So there's probably 4 to 5 times as the amount of recorded lines of me just talking to Jordan or whoever's directing the episode in character and just being just this obnoxious, weird old. Also, again, immortal oversoul groundskeeper.
I love playing Beerus in Dragon Ball Super, and my favorite character beyond that would probably be Michael Hanagata from One Daba Style. So there you go.
Thank you guys so much. Okay, I guess that's it.
Is that it?
I think so. All right, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you guys.